Jackie, welcome, welcome. Come on, girls. You're right in time for me to show you around and do a little tour of our new Magical Bridge here in Santa Clara. The Magical Bridge, as you may guess, takes a lot of people to pull together. We are delighted to always feature at every entry the name of the city, and we recognize that they understand that inclusion means everyone. These are all the donors that helped make this happen. For the Santa Clara site, this represents about $500,000 of personal funding, lemonade stands, small donations, big donations, and then of course on top of that there's money that was given by the Santa Clara All-Inclusive Playground Grant and other foundations. You might notice these types of pilasters throughout the Magical Bridge playgrounds. The first one is a general one about why we even exist and what we started to really create a place where everybody is welcome. And it explains the magic of a magical bridge, the zone layout, some custom features, and we always, of course, honor the city, highlight that kindness is magical. When you enter a magical bridge, whether you are an official kindness ambassador or not, you agree to model kind behavior. Each magical bridge is designed to be predictable for our guests, especially that have autism, people that are visually impaired. They benefit from knowing the layout of a location. Each of these areas are zones, we call them. We have at the very top which group or organization helped bring this to life. So in this case, we had the United Teachers of Santa Clara that made a meaningful donation and then lended their name to this area. And we also have been doing a lot of research over almost 10 years of what makes this movement magical to all ages, all abilities, and all developing brains, no matter where you are in that process. And swinging, of course, is an incredibly powerful way to increase your concentration for people that have autism, to help regulate and understand where you are in space. This is the movement and swinging area, where you'll see, of course, the accessible adaptive swings. Well, Jackie, you'll notice that actually this is designed so that someone our size, 5-year-old size, can get in. It's really important that the harness fits over your shoulders, and this is the only swing on the market where it actually works. You'll find some swings that they say they can hold someone up to 300 pounds, but you get someone in that's actually over 10 years old and the harness won't close. So it's just another reminder that the industry really doesn't look at playgrounds as a place for everyone, all ages, and they really are still designing and making equipment that really stops at around 10 or 12 years old. And of course we believe swinging is, well, it's the original form of therapy, and you're much too young to think about this, but older adults that experience memory loss find this movement of vestibular movement helpful to repair memory loss. They can accommodate somebody that transfers from a wheelchair, from a manual wheelchair, here, and then it's hard, so it's easier to get out of. If it were a mesh, it's a little more difficult. When we opened Palo Alto, we had a board member who uses a wheelchair, and he sat with his 3 daughters and was in tears. It's the first time that they were able to swing and move together. So we did a little research with our friends from the various autism groups, and we discovered that this is a great hideaway hut for people who want to get away from the noise. And simply, maybe I can invite you in. It is wheelchair friendly. Give it a try. If you can give it a try. The colors are mindfully designed. You can see out with the little slats. This designer builder is here in South San Francisco. Her name is Barbara Butler, and she uses organic redwood for all the materials. And the color is not toxic paint. It's actually a tung oil stain she creates herself, and so it's natural. And so if you do have a guest that decides they want to see what this tastes like, they're going to survive. They'll be okay. We are multi-generational. We do know a lot of older adults and less than older adults enjoy a little movement. So we have a separate area here for people to enjoy what you call sort of a little course of exercise. spinning is one of the most powerful forms of feedback to one's brain, and it actually is either a positive or a negative experience. So even though 15 minutes is a really long time to spin, if you are positively affected, it can stay with you for up to 8 hours. So for instance, for school playgrounds that only have a structure, we have learned that the spinning motion for somebody that has ADHD, attention deficit disorder, or has too much energy and they're asked to stay in that classroom and pay attention, the spinning is similar to taking Ritalin as medicine because it really regulates their nervous system. So imagine in those schools where they don't have movement, these poor kids are asked to pay attention, and all they're met with is a structure with no spinning or swinging, which is why we're excited that we're redoing school playgrounds too.
Yeah.
You know, what we love about this particular piece of equipment is that you do have the ability to put up to 2 wheelchairs in here. And what we do like is that if you are a wheelchair user, many times, you know, you're a parent or a friend that wants to play, and rather than just waiting for someone to spin you, you can do the spinning. So what's nice is, okay, you can have a seat, Jackie. Have a seat. Well, Jackie, I'm going to invite you to model this one for us. This is designed so that if you are in a wheelchair, you can slide on here. You have similar products on the market that are plastic, but when you see chunky plastics, what do you think?
Yeah, that's right.
Little kids, really little kids. And if we're saying this is for all ages, we want someone like you, me, and everyone in between to feel like this is okay to be on. You're going to have a memory of a teenager after this. This is actually one of the, I'd say, Hallmark Magical Bridge pieces of equipment. It's a cone spinner. As you can see, it's designed so that you are in a wheelchair. You can slide in and be part of the fun. Jen Lewin is a world-renowned artist now, but she's designed this. It's a 24-string laser harp that emits sounds when you roll under or walk under. This has been tuned to be on the pentatonic scale, which has been shown to be very relaxing for people with autism that get overstimulated by words sometimes in busy spaces. And we did learn from our friends from the Morgan Autism Center that many times when they leave a busy venue, they go into the bus and then they play these sounds that are soothing. This is a new kind of kindness corner we did for Santa Clara. It's the first of its kind. Every magical bridge has a kindness corner, and it's a way to remind people, obviously, to be kind. We need a lot more of that in the world today. But this time what we've done is we've partnered with an incredible group out of San Francisco that started in 1983, and it's called Creativity Explored, and they have many, many artists with disabilities, and they create beautiful pieces of art. So we are now moving forward with Magical Bridge Playgrounds, purchasing the art, which 50% goes back to the artists.
Brilliant.
It's a way for them to make a living as well as to display that there's so many talented people that bring so much joy and magic to the world. So this is probably my favorite little corner because even though Ava does not know anything about what we're doing, other than the fact that every time she enters a magical bridge, people are kind to her, she has a good time, she can count on music and friends. But this was an idea of our team many years ago when I started Magical Bridge to put something here that is a reminder. It started with what was a little girl who's now 21, and developmentally she's probably still the same little girl, but she now has a community and a group of places to go where she's welcome, and nobody asks her what's wrong with her. She's just part of the group. The Tot Zone is really that space dedicated for the youngest of our kids. It sort of has a mini slide for the little ones to practice on and enjoy before they get to the big slide. slide and climb zone. And then we've been asked, why do we have metal slides and not plastic slides? And the reason is many people with the cochlear implants cannot go down the plastic slides. The plastic actually holds heat longer than the metal as well. At the bottom of each of our slides also is something that we actually have a patent on called a slide and sit, so that for our friends that use wheelchairs, if they need a little time to wait for their device to come back to them, they can scoot over and wait. So we also are excited because this magical bridge has an elevated area where we expect there's a chessboard, and when kindness ambassadors are out and about, they will bring board games. You'll notice each of the tables has an opening for the friend who uses a wheelchair, so they're right in there and they're not kind of on the side or on the corner. Yeah, so it's thoughtful for that reason. It's in the shade. I can see a lot of magical moments happening here. Something also new for Santa Clara is this great little area where you can hang out on a hammock. Today it's a little sunny. We planted a ton of trees that will be mature one day, but on a more cloudy day, this is a very relaxing place to be, and we hope that everyone enjoys it. You'll notice the ground cover. So playgrounds and public spaces that are supposed to be compliant to law use this material as a loose fiber. It's called a tan bark. It's typically loose, and it does make playgrounds completely compliant to law, meaning that they think wheelchairs can roll into it. They really cannot. And so what we've done is used it for the natural look, but it's all bonded in rubber and it's flat and easy to roll over. So you'll notice that at each magical bridge. Each magical bridge has flat and no tripping hazards anywhere. You can roll around the entire space, and we know it benefits many people. Everyone benefits from a smooth path. Originally, for those that know Santa Clara, this was an amphitheater, and these benches were already here. So of course, when we were invited to consider this as the site, we couldn't have been more excited. The city decided so that we didn't have any splinters unnecessarily. We did cover them, but underneath are the original wood benches, and then of course we added this beautiful Barbara Butler playhouse, treehouse, so we can have many impromptu performances. This is really your community stage. Welcome to this beautiful playhouse, treehouse that was designed really with the request of Santa Clara to have the mission colors, so it's a little off-white and the browns. Again, it's the same beautiful organic redwood that's sourced out of Oregon, the tung oil stain that Barbara uses, the details. You'll notice these beautiful wooden items. This is the place for everyone to enjoy concerts, get a little quiet time. We will have a little book nook over here that's coming as well. Many guests that either use wheelchairs or parents that use wheelchairs have not been able to experience a playhouse, treehouse because of a little ledge, or because it was too low, or it wasn't thoughtfully designed. So this is the place where all sizes and ages really can enjoy, whether they want to have a meeting, or they want to enjoy a concert, or just hang around. Welcome to the lower part of the treehouse. It's actually, you're here on a tour with us where it has not quite gotten finished. It's going to be finished tomorrow and the next day. But you'll notice this was also very thoughtful, so that if there is someone that uses a wheelchair, they are able to roll up to the table. Then we have a bakery like we always do. Kids love to pretend play with the bakery. This bakery is going to have a recognition for a little girl named Abigail, and Abigail's grandparents actually they live across the street in Santa Clara. When Abigail was born, she was born with some disabilities, and so Granddad and Grandma started saving a lot of money because they knew she would need a little extra help. When she passed away, sadly, they turned those funds over to the Magical Bridge for our use. So this is a very meaningful reminder of a little girl that never really could grow up here, but had she been with us, she would have loved Magical Bridge. Ladies, I want to thank you for being our very first tour of the Magical Bridge in Santa Clara. We are excited to open shortly, and we know there will be many, many wonderful families and wonderful memories that will be made here.
You are able to get inside our families and understand how important it is that everybody plays together, brothers, sisters, cousins, regardless of abilities, disabilities, and ages. Wouldn't it be amazing, thanks to your work, if this could become the norm?
Yeah, well, thank you for this wonderful tour. I think for me, walking around this magical bridge, it really is this interesting experience of past, present, and future. As I'm walking around, I can see a past version of myself and how much I would have longed for a space as magical as this, where I could play to my heart's content and experience that adventure and thrill that's a part of childhood that often is missed or not prioritized for children who live with disabilities. And then in my present, it's equally exciting to look at how far we've come in terms of, what is on offer now and how I could hang out here, be in community with my community who I live alongside every day, but can't necessarily be in those same spaces. And then finally look into my future. I can see myself with my little children maybe one day and thinking about how I can experience my opportunities to play with them, play alongside them, not be on the sidelines watching other people interact with my children. So that's what stands out for me.